So for the rest of this, I'm going to talk about a little bit more about gaming. I'm going to go through, what I'm going to do is go through some of the myths that I hear, most of which you touched on, but I'll go a little deeper, I guess, because I have a little more time. And I'm going to look at the myths that my colleagues, I hear some of my colleagues say, and talk about specifically in gaming, what I think, why I think that it doesn't have to apply those myths. Some of these, most of you are probably familiar with the industry, so some of these facts and things are probably things you know off the top of your tongue. Hopefully a couple of you, they'll be new. And if not, they're probably some of the people that you call upon or work with might think them. So here's my reply to them, at least. So the first one is gaming is only for testosterone-laden boys. We've all heard this one. The Doritos picture was awesome. I'll go quick through these. In reality, 2/3 of households are playing video games. I don't know anybody who wouldn't want to sell to 2/3 of American households, so seems like a pretty good idea. Over a quarter of gamers are over 50, and I actually had 39. I'm sure you can find whatever number you want for average game purchaser. Not only that, but they're moving online, and 1/3 of households are playing games on a wireless device, which I found very high and amazing. So not only has gaming sort of arrived with the real consumer, but they're actually on to the next generation, and we're still trying to figure out how to get to the first one. Women are a huge part of gaming, and women over 18 are twice the gaming population that boys 17 and under are. I guess boys 17 and under just have a better press agent. And you know, there's more money spent on video games than on box offices, and also you spend a little more time with video games since they don't end after 2 or 3 or 4 hours if you're watching an epic. The next one I hear a lot is, yeah, gaming's big. I read the press. I love it. You know, I play. My son plays. My daughter plays. But you can't advertise in it. You know, the people just get angry. We go back to brandalism. So I don't think it has to be that at all. And I'm going to tell you a little story about Axe. It's all about, again, adding value for the consumer and making the experience more realistic and have more value for them. So Axe's philosophy when it started into gaming and remains that we'll do plenty of game advertising if it's right, but only for things that we would do in real life. So particularly if we're not making a proprietary game. We'd only be advertising in a game when it's a billboard or it's a type of advertisement that we would do if you were really there, enhancing the experience. So we would be on top of a cityscape. We would be on the side of a road. Here's an interesting one. In one of the Tom Clancy games, they went to Mexico. Axe is a much bigger brand in Mexico than it is in the US, a much longer history. So we went and did advertising down in Mexico City. Viva la Axe. I hope the advertising in Mexico is a little better than we did here, but you get the point. And so it enhances the experience, makes it more realistic. Here's an example of an Easter egg, something you had to actually work a little bit to find in a Tom Clancy game. So again, this wasn't advertised anywhere. You just had to find it. We end up with thousands of posts about this and just added a little bit of levity to the experience, right? Something you wouldn't have imagined. And the game developers had a good time with it too, obviously. So I think it's a good example of, what's that got to do with Axe? Well, that was Las Vegas, and if you can't see in the background, there was a know the score or something, or help your score, I think, in the background, and an attractive woman. So it fits well with Axe's college age, get the girl image, but also adds real value to them. And we saw a bunch of metrics move in terms of how people like the brand and awareness of it. In case you say, well, that makes a lot of sense, David, but that's really easy when you've got a college age audience. I think the key is just knowing who your audience is and tailoring to them. So this is, we have a whole framework that we use across our businesses, because my portfolio includes things like Dove Hair and Suave, which are nothing like Axe. And you have to just take a look and say, all right, who's my audience? And okay, if I'm doing Dove, I'm probably not going to go into a Tom Clancy console game. But there are plenty of ways that I can get involved. Another myth I hear all the time is, love to do it, but it's a huge time sink and it costs a whole lot of money. The answer to that is yes, it can. So some of the people in the room would like us to spend that kind of money. But it doesn't have to. Just as an example, going back to the Axe stuff, does that stuff work? I saw a study done about 3 years ago of all in-game advertisers, and they asked younger audiences what brands they recognized, and Axe was in the top 5, although we are a top 20 in terms of spend. So if you do it in the right way, people thought they saw Axe in every single video game, but they didn't, which is why they didn't get mad about it. But of course, you should be in every video game. The point of this slide is that you can really spend anything. I've seen effective gaming advertising at $15,000, $20,000, and there's some brands that spend millions on a single property. So you can really go from anything. And the point about that is that I think one of the mistakes we make is seeing gaming as one channel, because it really isn't. There's lots of different things, and you guys can probably throw others out here that I haven't hit upon. So in-game advertising, we sort of just talked about, but in case you're thinking that it is all just Axe, I'll show you an example from Suave and The Price is Right.
Most exciting hour of fantastic prizes, the fabulous 60-minute Price is Right. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. Ragu Organic Traditional Pasta Sauce. All natural with no artificial additives or preservatives. Ragu. Feed our kids well. Scott Extra Soft 4-pack Double Roll. Our softest ever that lasts and lasts. Your next item is Scott Moist Wipes Refill. Get clean, get fresh, get more. 20% more wipes than the leading brand. This is the first item you'll bid on. North Sides plus Veggie Southwestern style rice. 2 servings of veggies never tasted this good. Each package of North...
That's enough. Yes, thank you. Almost forgot my rule. Suave pops up there too, but Ragu and Knorr are also ours. So there's just an example of something you can do, and millions of people see that. I mean, it's mind-blowing. We'll talk about measurement in a little bit. Custom in-game, I think we already talked about the, you'll see another one coming up, but we talked about what we did with the Splinter Cell stuff and that Easter egg, which obviously is a more involved, only one brand can do it kind of partnership. Proprietary games, the I Can't Believe It's Not Butter is a good example. I'll show you another Axe one coming up. And then the last category is you also can do game advertising without ever being anywhere inside a game. I mean, certainly there's all the online platforms and things you can do there with hosting tournaments and that kind of stuff. But this is an example of what we're doing with Xbox in Target coming up as soon as the month changes here, where strapped on, Xbox Live points are actually part of the promotion for why you should buy Axe shower gel or body spray or Axe Haircare. This is an Axe Haircare example. So a partnership that we're doing, we both benefit because we end up getting in the electronics aisle, which is important to Axe in a Target. They end up getting placement on the deodorant shelf, which is not a place you normally buy gaming properties, and everybody wins. And Target wins because there's more excitement and things pushed around.